Hi, my name's Isaac, and welcome back to
Alpha Shark Pictures.
Unofficial, please don't sue me.
Ram Truck Month.
Today we're going to be looking at this 2022 Ram 1500 Limited. Now I know when I started Ram Truck Month, if you've been following the last couple of videos, I said I was only going to review special edition Rams this month. Well, I said that before I actually had all the special edition Rams that I wanted to review locked in. And so some of them fell through, and I was like, drat, I called this Ram Truck Month, I have to commit to this. And so I said, well, what else could I review? And I thought, what better truck to look at than the 1500 Limited? Now, one of my first dealer reviews was actually a Ram 1500 Limited. It's my second most popular video on the channel, and that was about 3 years ago. And while the body style has remained the same, Ram has added a lot of cool new features and updated some stuff since that time. So, without further ado, let's review this thing. Before we begin, I want to thank Brown Daub Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for allowing me to review this truck. For all your Chrysler Jeep Dodge or Ram needs, you can visit Brown Daub right off of Route 33 in Easton, Pennsylvania, or at their website, browndaub.net. Starting out up front on the Limited, not much has changed in the styling department since the 2019 model year up here, but this particular Limited does have the Night Edition, which gives it this fully blacked out grille, blacked out wheels, and some other black accents throughout the truck that we'll touch upon in a little bit. I think that adds to the aggressive styling that this has, and personally, I think this is one of the sharpest trucks on the market, specifically in the Limited and Laramie configuration with these thinner, more aggressive looking headlights. Speaking of the headlights that I just blinded myself with by looking directly into them, they're fully LED with LED daytime running lights, and you have LED fog lights down here at the bottom of the truck. And then on the lower portion of the bumper, you have parking sensors, 2 giant tow hooks, and then incorporated into the Ram logo, you have a the front camera rather, for the 360-degree camera system. I say that so often in all these videos, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm like, the 360-degree camera system, the 360-degree camera system, but most vehicles are now incorporating that camera system into them, and so it's always worth mentioning. Moving underneath the hood in this 1500, it is powered by Dodge's 5.7-liter Hemi V8, which is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now this engine is very reliable. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the driving segment. It definitely gets the job done, and it's great for towing, but it looks like this engine is eventually going to be phased out in favor of Dodge's new Hurricane Inline 6, which they just revealed. More than likely, the new generation of 1500 or the mid-cycle refresh of this truck is going to get that new Hurricane, and it's unknown if we're going to retain the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. I can tell you this though, this is a bulletproof engine. They've used it since about 2003. It's the same engine that was on the Daytona that I reviewed recently, but it has had some updates since then. Now moving to the profile of the truck, I'm going to break up the monotony of my channel. Normally I would start with the wheels and tires, but today we're going to start with the key. This key is one of the most impressive keys in the entire automotive industry, at least to me, because of how much functionality is packed into this thing. Of course, you'll get lock, unlock, the standard, you'll have your panic button, and you'll also have the ability to drop your tailgate from the key fob. You can see that right there, it dropped it. But one of my favorite features, this is like an incredible luxury feature, and it's on a pickup truck, is the ability to double tap here, and that is going to lower the suspension of the truck. As you can see, look at how fast it does it. It lowers the front and then it lowers the back down, just ever so slowly. It's going to do that, and that gives you easier access into the truck if you have it lifted a little bit, because this does have built-in air suspension that you can adjust fully from the interior. But if you're like, oh man, it's really high up, or you have groceries, something in the back, look at that. It will lower itself automatically, and it's still going. It's just going to keep going. And then that gives you way, way, way easier access into the bed of this truck. I'm 5'9", maybe 5'10" in these shoes. I'm being gracious when I say that. And this tailgate comes up to like my thighs. I mean, normally the tailgate on this truck would probably come up to about here, but this is way easier access into your bed, or if you just need easier access up into your cab, you can do that as well. So now it's in its lowest configuration here. I'll back up and show you what it looks like. Pretty sleek truck even in this low form. This also helps with aerodynamics since it's much lower. It's not a brick in the wind. Another really cool thing is if we open the door, power running boards. So these running boards come out automatically, so you have an even better step up inside the truck, which is awesome. What a great detail. I mean, again, so incredible the stuff they have packed into this truck. I think Ram is by far the current leader in luxury pickup trucks, just with the functionality that they pack into this thing. Now we will talk about the wheels and tires. These wheels are a part of that night edition package, and so they're all blacked out. You're gonna get these really cool, this really cool design incorporated into them. They're 22-inch wheels, and your tires are 285/45 Scorpions. Really like it. Now, personally, I don't think I would actually take this truck off-road with those wheels and tires. I'd probably get a smaller set of wheels and beefier tires, but you do have the opportunity if you would want to. Then you'll have a blacked out Ram badge right here. You'll have body color matched door handles with keyless entry, and you will get a blacked out mirror cap right here. So it's gloss black. It's not like the black plastic like here. This is part of that night edition. Then you'll have a turn signal indicator with Ram stamped on the interior right there. A lot of little Ram Easter eggs. Then you'll have blind spot monitoring, power, a blind spot mirror on top of the blind spot monitoring, and they are heated mirrors as well, and they are power folding. Tons of functionality packed in there as well. And then if we move to the rear here, as I obviously mentioned, this has a tailgate that drops automatically from the key fob. You can also do that from the interior. I don't believe, and we'll do this live, I have not tested this. No, the tailgate does not go back up. Some of the competitors, it might go back up from the interior. We'll check on that. Some of the competitors have tailgates that also lift up automatically. Now, this is an aluminum tailgate. Really like it because it's super easy, dampened, it drops down. I'm gonna do my pinky. So my pinky finger, now I am a fairly agile young man, but I just lifted that entire tailgate with my pinky finger, and that's not something that you could generally do on other pickup trucks. So that's really nice that it's got that aluminum design, way easier to lift back up when you need to. You'll have a 4x4 and a limited badge right there, as well as your Ram badge that are all blacked out on the truck. And then down here, you'll have parking sensors and dual exhaust with your tow hitch receiver system and all those settings right there. And now if we move over here, there is a pretty nice step up into the bed right here and a section to get up here. And with the aforementioned air suspension, it's especially easy to get up into the truck, but Ram offers you one more option as well. There is a little kickstand right here that offers another step to get up into the truck. I mean, just so many endless possibilities with this truck, which is awesome. Obviously, there is a dealer installed tonneau cover on this, so you can't reach in right now, but if you had that rolled up, you could. But I just love that functionality. I think it's fantastic, and I just cannot sing enough praises about this truck. I mean, honestly, guys, I always like to say that if I had all the money in the world, I would get a Ram, because, man, I cannot afford one of these now. I mean, YouTube pays, but it doesn't pay that good. But this is an amazing truck from the exterior. Let's look at the interior. Moving to the interior, wow, look at all this stuff. There's just so much going on in here. So many amazing features we're going to touch upon here. Starting with the door panel, this is leather wrapped right here, which is a really nice armrest, and it's leather wrapped up here with this gorgeous stitching. I mean, I absolutely love that. Look at the attention to detail. It's crazy. Then if we move to the window switches right here, the front two are auto, one touch down, one touch up, and the rear ones, you just hold the buttons. Then you'll have your lock, unlock, and your window lockout controls, just in case your friends get a little rowdy and you want to lock their windows out. And then here you do have your power folding mirror button right there. They will fold automatically, and then you can just tap the button to fold them out again, and then you have the adjustments for that. You'll have your seat controls right here because they are power operated seats with power lumbar, the whole nines. I mean, this, every bell, ding, 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 every whistle, this has everything. And so Down here, you'll have your lighting controls and power adjustable pedals, so you can bring those forward or push those back. Dun, 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 dun. You see them move forward, perfect. And then you have your electronic parking brake. Can't say I'm a huge fan of the electronic parking brake, but it obviously is good to have a parking brake. Now up here, you do have manual adjusting steering wheel with tilt and telescoping. No power adjusting, but again, nice to have the ability to tilt and telescope. Moving to the steering wheel right here, you'll have your volume controls and these controls for that center screen right here. Ram has not officially updated to a fully digital gauge cluster, but it looks like next year's mid-cycle refresh will probably include that based on some leaked images. But you're gonna get everything that you would want in here, your fuel economy, your digital speedometer, stuff like that. Clearly, this is not packing great fuel economy, but a full-size truck generally doesn't, so I can forgive that. And I'm sure that on highway speeds with this truck lowered, you would get a little bit better fuel economy in that case. You're gonna have these just like, I never talk about the actual gauges themselves, but look at how gorgeously furnished these are. I mean, the attention to detail in here is incredible. They didn't have to do that. It's just your gauge cluster, but Ram really went the extra mile with this limited trim. I guess we jumped into the gauge cluster. We didn't finish the steering wheel here. It's wrapped with some wood trim right here and leather with really nice stitching that goes all around it. And then on the back of the steering wheel right here, you're gonna have your volume controls. I guess I said that was here. This is your controls for the screen. Your volume controls are on the back of the steering wheel, your Bluetooth's right here, and then your channel changing's back here, or the other way around. Let me see. No, okay, this is your volume. The other one's channel changing. Ignore everything I just said. Down here, you're gonna have your gearing, and then you're gonna have your radar guided cruise control settings right there. So that's really nice to see. The steering wheel is heated and pretty powerful sounding steering wheel. One thing I also like in here is you do have a driver's side grab handle. Man, looking through the camera at everything with the kind of fisheye lens, I keep missing stuff. It's really funny. Anyway, moving over here, you'll have more leather wrapped parts of the truck. Like, why would you ever need to leather wrap this? I mean, like, who's gonna see this part of the truck? But Ram was like, we are going to. And you have the gorgeous stitching which continues here, and then you have wood grain paneling that continues across the screen and then across the dashboard to your limited badge there. And it's pretty standard start stop button on there, but the really nice stitching continues up to the top of the dash as well. No section of this thing was left unbeautified, I guess is the word that I'm looking for, if beautified's a word. I mean, it looks gorgeous. They really didn't cut any corners on this truck. You'll have a Harman & Kardon sound system right there. I think it's 19 speakers. I mean, it sounds gorgeous. Unfortunately, I won't play you any music because of copyright issues, and it just isn't really gonna come through as good as it would in person on my phone. But I can promise this is one of the best sound systems in cars right now. And it's in a pickup truck. You also have a 12 volt up there and some storage for like sunglasses or a phone. And then that brings us down here to the 12-inch infotainment system, absolutely massive. Ram was one of the first vehicle manufacturers to go with these larger screen after Tesla incorporated it into their models, and I can only say good things about it. Already, the Uconnect system is incredibly spiffy. It's one of the fastest systems in the car industry, and this is an updated version of it in the 2022 model. It's incorporated some stuff.
Your vehicle needs an internet connection to use Alexa.
Thank you, Alexa. It's incorporated stuff like Amazon Alexa. This has not been set up with an internet connection yet, but that is obviously an option in this truck to have a Wi-Fi hotspot in here. And this is Apple CarPlay, displaying my CarPlay. Pretty spiffy CarPlay, as you can see. I got to get to a mechanic a little later for my sister's car, so I have that plugged into my Google Maps. And if we go into like music right here, hopefully it doesn't play anything. Okay, great, no copyright strikes, but it is really spiffy, really quick, really nice to be able to go through all this stuff on the screen. And most vehicles, since they have more of a horizontal layout on their screen, have CarPlay laid out a little bit differently, but I really like how it's incorporated on here with the taller screen design. I think it's fantastic. Down here below the CarPlay, you'll have your other media settings. Your climate controls are incorporated in here. Your heated seats. No, wait, it's like 90 degrees out. I don't want those. You have your ventilated seats. That's what I want. Heated steering wheel. Really, just so much incorporated into this screen. I do wish that there was buttons for the heated seats out here on the sides like there is for some of the climate controls, but I can forgive Ram for that because it is like a quick button to get to that you can just jump to right there. Now, if you don't want to use your CarPlay, you can go to the standard navigation, which is incorporated into this. A little bit slower on the standard navigation. You can see it's taken a bit for me to, is this, oh, maybe it's, nope, I can zoom out. That's, I guess, as far as it zooms out. And so, pretty standard navigation, but you know, pretty basic in there, but you have that ability again, which is nice. And then you'll have your power steps right here. You can deploy from in here, your mirror dimming, and your camera settings. So you can go to the different camera settings if you'd like from here, or when you switch into reverse. So that's always nice to see. You can set up an auxiliary camera too, which is amazing. And then if we click here, I think this is gonna, yep, this is gonna go to our 360-degree camera system. So if we turn the wheel, the guiding lines are gonna tell us where the truck is gonna go, which is awesome. And I must commend Ram for an incredibly crisp and very detailed screen. If we come down here, you'll have your trailer brake assist, and then this is the button to raise and lower your suspension. So as you can see, the little dot up there is like, okay, that's how high you want to raise the suspension. So as I'm talking here, it's going to start raising it, and you'll see the little dots begin to move upward, and that's going to raise the suspension. And so then you'll have your traction control off, your tow haul modes, and your parking sensors for the front and rear. You can turn those off and on if you don't want to hear the beeping. Then below that, you'll have USB, USB-C, and auxiliary. Now this does have wireless CarPlay, but I just didn't want to set that up, and I didn't want it to mess with my filming, so I just plugged it in because it still allows me to do CarPlay while I'm filming. That's really only a car review person thing. I don't really know why you'd want to film and have CarPlay while you're driving. Don't do that. And so anyway, moving over here, you have wireless charging right here, which is really convenient. You can just throw your phone right in there, and then you'll have two cup holders, a small spot. Now, see, now my cord is getting in the way. A small spot for storage, and then you can kind of fold this up if you just want a flush center console right here. And then I guess I can unplug this. You'll have limited with the gorgeous stitching incorporated in here on the armrest, and this is of course also leather wrapped, which is wonderful. And then opening this up, I mean, look at how much room you get in there, so much. And you can actually move this part forward and backward to provide more storage space. And you do also have a household outlet down here, which is really nice. Always good to see in a big truck like this. One more thing I did want to touch upon in here is you can see there is like different generations of the Ram incorporated into this little divider that you can fold up. I think that's so neat. Like, what a great little Easter egg. Ram is the king of Easter eggs. They have the T-Rex eating the Raptor on the TRX. I mean, just so cool. And then you also do get, which has been much talked about, some measuring schematics right here and diagrams for different metric systems. And this is like a metric wrench conversion chart, which is like so cool. Just in case you need that, it's built onto your center console right here. And then you have absolutely wonderful leather seats with amazing bolstering. I have the cooling feature on right now, as I mentioned, and it is just absolutely wonderful. I love it. And continuing over here, you'll have an upper glove box, which you can open right there. And then you do have a lower one. Moving up here, oh my word, you have so many buttons. A couple of those buttons are for the vent shade and the fully panoramic moonroof that this comes equipped with. And then one of the other buttons is for the rear power sliding window, which is nice. And then you also do have your SOS and emergency assistance in there. The last thing I wanted to mention before we move to the back seats is that this also incorporates a camera in the third brake light. So if you have somebody like in the back seats going blah, 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 and you can't see out your back, you can just flip this, and that's going to, I guess you could still see my hand, but not as well. And so that helps in the safety aspect right there. Moving to the second row, oh my word, what is even going on back here? There's heated and cooled seats in the second row with USB and USB-C, as well as a household outlet and climate vents. That's incredible. You're practically just as well appointed back here as you are up front. So comfortable. And don't even get me started on how much legroom you have. It's incredible back here. You have a nice fold down armrest too, with leather incorporated into it, and 2 cup holders, which doubles as your third seat, obviously. But I mean, oh my word. And another great feature is there's little, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right over here you can see there's a grab, and right under me there is. So you can grab this and pull out, and then you can actually recline the rear seats. You can recline the rear seats back here, and I still have tons of leg room. That is incredible. All right, driving the new Ram 1500. I'm gonna make this a pretty short driving segment because I've talked fairly extensively about the 5.7 liter engine in other videos, and I've driven probably 5 or 6 Rams at this point equipped with the engine. But I do want to highlight a couple of things on this particular truck because, like I said, I haven't reviewed a limited in probably about 3 years, and I forgot how smooth this thing was. I mean, it is so comfortable, just really incredibly maneuverable, and just the air suspension is absolutely amazing on this thing. I love it. I mean, it makes this gigantic truck feel like it's really not as boxy as it is. You know, it's just so comfortable in here. And the 5.7 liter Hemi is very reliable. I gotta give it to Dodge. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they haven't really felt a need to fix this truck because it's a very reliable engine that gets the job done. Yeah, is it the most fuel efficient? No, not necessarily. Hopefully though, this new Hurricane Inline 6 is going to be the solution to the fuel economy and really boost this truck's ability to perform in that area. So that's pretty much going to wrap up my driving impressions. Nothing too critical here. There's not a ton different from previous years, but that's okay. And obviously I will compare this to that new Hurricane Inline 6 whenever I have the ability to get my hands on that. That's going to wrap up my review of this Ram 1500 Limited. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Lastly, I am a Christian, so if you guys have any prayer requests, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below. I love being able to pray for and interact with you guys on that spiritual level. And I like to close with a weekly Bible verse. But I didn't prepare anything this week, and so I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do the shortest verse in the entire Bible? And kind of gives you some trivia. John 11:35, Jesus wept. Well, why was he weeping? We need to have a little bit more context to that, don't we? Well, at the time, Jesus' friend Lazarus had died, and he came to the town where Lazarus' sisters, Mary and Martha, were mourning. And Jesus, being in mourning with them, wept for Lazarus. Now, eventually, Jesus did raise Lazarus from the dead, but this verse shows Jesus' humanity because he was fully God and fully man. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I'll see you next time.